Unfortunately, our horses are not on display today, so we're going to fast forward through here. It's part of the script. We're never told why they're not out. We're just told there'll be no horses. So it's above my pay grade. Oak tree, maple tree. Famous rocks left by the glaciers. We're now going to hear from Jonathan Slatt, our Asian expert.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth. My job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Henry Jabalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. And on a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. That's what's happening today with Henry Jabalski's horse.
As you can see, we give our animals lots of room to roam, as we're still in the Mongolian wild horse exhibit. But I'll be able to pinpoint most of the animals for you today, even if they're not necessarily in plain sight. It's not difficult to do if you'd like to try. Just put yourself in their hooves and figure out where you would go for a shady spot to rest or a little grazing time. When we reach the top of this hill, we'll be on the lookout for an endangered species known as the gaur. That's G-A-U-R. Excellent Scrabble word. The gaur are the world's largest wild cattle. Males stand 6 feet at the shoulder, 10 feet long, and weigh 2,000 pounds. With their incredible size and horns, a gaur can take on anything, even a tiger. What threatens these beautiful creatures is lack of an Asian habitat and diseases they catch from domestic cattle. If the horns point straight up, it's a male. If they curve in at the top, it's a female. Most of the herd is female. We have 7 baby gaur in the herd. 6 of them are male. Here's a word from their keeper, Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave, a wild animal keeper here in Wild Asia. When the Bronx Zoo received 2 female and 1 male gaur from the San Diego Zoo, it took a couple of introductions before all the animals were comfortable. But after a little bit of time, the 3 new animals fully integrated into the herd, and we have the family that you see today. A family group of gaur can consist of up to 40 individuals, and is typically led by an older adult female called the matriarch. Since the 2 females and 1 male have been added to this family, there have been a number of offspring. This is important because gaur are considered to be a vulnerable species, so it's vital to maintain a healthy growing herd here at the zoo.
Our matriarch's name is Trixie. It's easy to forget sometimes that the Bronx Zoo sits in the heart of an urban setting. But shortly behind us, you're going to hear the roar of the concrete jungle, known as the Bronx River Parkway. The large wooden fence in front of you obstructing your view is put there to keep back that traffic noise and help our animals feel more at home and calm. This is especially important since in the next exhibit, we're on the lookout for a tiger. Once again, please remain seated with all body parts inside the train. Tiger stripes provide excellent camouflage, and sometimes we have difficulty spotting our tiger, but he just came up out of the pond. He's in the center of the exhibit. In the wild, tigers will eat wild pig and deer, and pig he will. He'll eat 40 pounds of meat in one setting, and then not eat again for 3 days. That's the equivalent of 160 hamburgers to you and I. If you ate 160 hamburgers, you wouldn't eat for 3 days either. With less than 3,000 tigers remaining in the wild, and only 1,000 of them being breeding females. We're working with several organizations to increase this number. Tiger stripes are like fingerprints. No two are alike. That's how we tell our tigers apart. And they're solitary creatures and prefer to live alone. That's why you'll only see one at a time on display here at the Wild Asia Monorail. We don't want them fighting over territory. You can see more tigers by visiting Tiger Mountain, a short shuttle ride from the monorail. We're now at the back of our Gower exhibit. More Gower at the top of the hill. Hello, ladies. Hey. And we're now coming up on the back of our first meadow. Once again, the large honey-colored deer along the left fence line are called Barasinga. Little guys with the white bellies are black buck antelope, smallest antelope species in Asia. Fully grown, 2.5 feet at the shoulder. Males have horns, females do not. The little spotted deer are called axis deer. Axis deer keep their spots their entire adult lives. And down here in the mud is another Barasinga. They're also called swamp deer, as they have a splayed hoof, and as you can see, they prefer the mud to the grass. As we round this next bend, we're on the lookout for some pigs. Special pigs called babarusa. The word babarusa means pig deer in the Malay language, because the natives thought their tusks resembled deer antlers. Coming into a bamboo thicket, we're looking for 2 males, Kenneth and Linus, with tusks that erupt through their snout and back towards their eyes. Asia's version of Pumbaa. Kenneth's asleep behind the rock, so you probably won't see him. Linus was on the left side earlier. He's over here on the right now. He's walking to the left along the log. They hail from the island of Sulawesi and are highly endangered. If you didn't see the babarusa, have no fear. You can't miss our next 2 lovely ladies, as we're going to visit with Happy and Patty, our Asian elephants. Once again, please remain seated and keep your voices down. When you're the world's largest land mammal, things bigger than you tend to freak you out. And they're both going to be very close to the train as soon as we get past these trees. Happy's on the left, Patty's on the right. Patty comes closer and closer to the train when she hears my voice. Oh. Wow, she's completely sticking out here. Again, please keep your hands inside the train. I believe she can reach you, and I don't want to prove it. The first thing you notice about an elephant is their size. They weigh approximately 10,000 pounds. They eat fruits, vegetables, 200 pounds of hay, and 60 gallons of water each day. The elephant's trunk is an incredible tool with over 40,000 muscles in it. That's more than the entire human body. It's got a finger-like appendage at the end. With it, she can pick up an egg without breaking it, or tear down a small tree with great force. Happy's giving herself what we call a dust bath. It's an elephant's way of applying sunscreen. And if you saw the Animal Planet show, The Zoo, you know that twice a week they receive special baths and pedicures. I just have to say, you are the best tour I have had all day. I haven't had to ask anyone to sit down or do anything. That's fabulous. And again, as you see, there's a reward. If you stay calm, the animals will come right up to us. A lot of them were born here, so they don't know anything different. As we say goodbye to Happy and Patty, we're going to say hello to my favorite lady at the zoo. And that's Priya, our Indian rhino, and her 1-year-old baby boy, Patrick. They're on the far side as well. We're going to speed up a little bit here. With less than 2,000 rhinos remaining in the wilds of India and Nepal, we're very fortunate to care for 6 of these endangered creatures. Caring for rhinos is one thing, breeding's quite another. We're the luckiest zoo in the USA. We've had 15 rhino births here at the Bronx Zoo. Penny was our first, 1986. Patrick, 2021. He turned 1-year-old last month. Second half of the exhibit, you'll see a fallen log. To the right of that fallen log is the original mud wallow, put here in 1977 when the monorail first opened. And right smack in the middle of that wallow, we'll find Priya and Patrick. Hey, Priya, you awake? Priya. Where's my boy? Patrick. Patrick comes asleep, you can show up. Many people describe a rhino's skin as armor-plated. It's actually very thin with lots of folds and needs protection from insect bites and the sun. To do this, they'll sit in the mud wallow, cover themselves with mud, and this acts as a natural sunscreen and insect repellent. Priya tips his scales at a mere 3,500 pounds. Patrick was about 160 at birth. Although rhinos can achieve speeds close to 40 miles per hour, they're highly endangered because of their horn, which in some cultures is said to have medicinal purposes. As we drop down into the valley, we get extremely close to fences and trees. So once again, sit back, keep all body parts, camera parts, anything you ever want to see again, inside the train. Asia is a continent with the largest number of deer species, as well as deer diversity, as we'll see in this next and largest exhibit of the Wild Asia Monorail. Of course, the more room you give animals to roam, the harder you have to look for them. As we enter the clearing and come around the bend, look back to the left on top of the rocks over here, and you'll see 2 little spotted deer. Those are Formosan Sika deer from the island of Taiwan, formerly known as Formosa. They were hunted to near extinction in the 1970s and can only be found in national parks and zoos. Behind the circular fence, the little guys are hog deer, not baby deer, fully grown. They get their name because they're short and heavy like hogs, and like hogs would rather creep and crawl under things than leap over them like their deer cousins. That's as big as those little deer will get. In the center of this exhibit, you'll find a stream. Follow that stream all the way up the hill to the back fence line. And all the way at the top of the hill, in the shade, you'll find some very large chocolate-colored deer. Those are the sandbar deer, largest deer in southern Asia. Males stand 5.5 feet at the shoulder and can weigh up to 650 pounds. They're up there on top of the hill. To the right of this log, you're going to find some more hog deer. There's one of those chocolate-colored sandbar deer, top of the meadow. And the large tan animals with the black and white markings on their hooves are the Nilgai antelope, the largest antelope in Asia. The word Nilgai means blue bull in the Hindi language, as males will have a blue-gray coat upon maturity. Now study this fence line inside very closely. He's flicking his tail for you. That's a China's tufted deer. Looks like a large rabbit. Right there. If you were closer, you'd see that his canine teeth come past his mandible, making it look like he has fangs, and giving him the nickname vampire deer. That and when excited, they will howl, whistle, and bark like a dog. Study the back fence line. When they move, they're real easy to see. When they stand still, they're practically invisible. They're very rare in zoos outside China. We're lucky to have them. Peek through the trees, you'll see Patty and Happy again. Can't hide an elephant. 1, 2. See another monorail coming by as well. We're now crossing back over the Bronx River. At over 23 miles long, this freshwater river is home to fish, ducks, turtles, geese, and migrating birds. WCS realizes how important it is to maintain the Bronx River and Greenway, both as a healthy environment for wildlife and for Bronx residents to enjoy. Once we've successfully crossed the river for the second time, we're in the Rocky Himalayas. Under the tree there is a Himalayan tar with the dark fur and triangular horns. If we wanted to study tar in the wild, we'd have to do some serious mountain climbing. Here on the boulder is the markhor, national animal of Pakistan, largest member of the goat family, most identifiable by the male's impressive beard and spiral horns that can reach up to 5 feet in length. The word markhor means snake eater in Persian. Legend has it he ate a snake, and that's how it escaped. They're incredible athletes. They can leap up to 6 feet in the air without a running start, and have been known to climb trees for food. Both males and females have spiral horns and beards. Female horns stop growing after a foot. Male horns grow a foot a year up to 5 feet. Now I do apologize, the train's going to slow down for our red panda display, but he's not currently on display. He has free access, and when it gets more than 80 degrees, he goes back home. You can see more red pandas by visiting the Himalayan highlands, a short walk from the monorail. While there, be sure to check out our snow leopards. Over here on the ground are our alpha male markhor with those 5-foot horns. And there's another goat in a tree right there. As we wind our way down the hill, our tour is sadly coming to an end. But I'd like to tell you a little bit more about us. The Wildlife Conservation Society manages 5 parks in the New York City area: the Bronx Zoo, Central Park Zoo, Queens Zoo, Prospect Park Zoo, and the New York Aquarium on Coney Island. We also manage over 300 scientists in 60 countries throughout the world. We're working hard to save wildlife in wild places. You being here today helps us to do just that, and for that we thank you. We're going to hear from one more scientist. Her name is Michelle. She's in charge of the first meadow we came to, which is now directly across the river from us.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm part of the Wild Asia Keeper team. We call this area Kanha Meadow, where we care for about 40 Barasingha deer, 15 axis deer, 10 black buck, and a pair of muntjac. We start our day by checking on all the animals, making sure they are healthy, behaving normally, and safe. Sometimes, fawns and calves are born overnight. Newborns are given a neonatal exam, which includes weighing, vaccination, and tagging for identification purposes. While the animals are in the meadow, we prepare their nighttime holding areas so that they have a safe and clean place to spend the night.
Brief stop to reset the computer. Please remain seated. This is not our final destination, and we'll only be here for a short while. Also, please note that while the Bronx Zoo closes at 5 o'clock today, all live animal exhibits close at 4:30, so plan your day accordingly. The only things open at 4:30 will be Nature Trek and the Bug Carousel, as these do not contain live animals. Dinosaur Safari does not contain live animals, but they close at 4:30, so you have time to walk through the entire exhibit, as it's a walkthrough this year. On behalf of the Wildlife Conservation Society and the Bronx Zoo, my name is Matthew. I've been your driver and tour guide. I thank you for joining me aboard the Wild Asia Monorail. Our animals are always in different places doing different things, so come back and visit us often and soon. Please remain seated till the train comes to a complete and final stop and the doors have opened. Remember, there's a step up for people in the front row, step down for people in the back row. Please watch your step as you exit the monorail car. First 6 cars exit to your right, last 2 cars exit to your left. Lucky car V6, you go straight out the gate. Train's about to stop. Doors about to open. Only one thing left to do. Enjoy the rest of your day here at the beautiful Bronx Zoo. And once again, I thank you. You are the best tour I've had all day. Watch your step.
We gotta let everybody get off.
Give Alex the point. And here.